Alright, so quick update to those people who are paying any attention to the modified and growing layout. I'm going to try to get some of these shells primed so that I can start trying to get Lehigh Valley color on them. Now I tried, this was an automotive paint. It's a little bit too gloss, so I'm going to rub it off and try something different. So these are expendable shells. They weren't all that good for a variety of reasons. So I'm going to experiment with them. Hopefully before long I'll have this AA unit in a form that I can test it. This is a typical Hilltop Saw Shop modified unit right here. And basically that pull-more powered truck came out of a switcher designed to go that way. So coupled with a shell, and it'll be painted in Lehigh Valley. That's a primer right there, so I finally found a primer that sticks on those things. And this is a Magnetraction from the 60s pull-more, also designed to go that way. So both these are designed to go in the forward direction relative to the set of powered AA Alcos. And what I'm going to do is take a page out of another guy's book, D.A. Griffin. He was powering an AA set of Alcos off of one reversing unit. Yeah. I'm going to do exactly the same thing, but I'm going to paint these to match as close as I can to Lehigh Valley to match my railroad. I've got a couple of these shells that are just broken up, and I'll just use them for like guinea pigs. And then also, if I can adapt this pull-more from the switcher along with a standard Magnetraction pull-more, this one should slip a little bit if it's a little bit out of sync, and that's got enough power and traction where it'll pull this if it doesn't cooperate. You know what I'm saying? It's going to have a whistle, and of course we're going to use just one of these units right here, and I've got to get a better hook for back here, I think. But I'll have lights, one unit, two motors, and a horn, and shells painted in Lehigh Valley when I'm done is the goal here. And still trying to figure out what kind of paint to use. We're still working on that. You know, this primer is really not that far off. Huh. Anyway, it's a little orangey. The layout has evolved. You might notice that things are just a little bit straighter, and all the lights work now, even in that thing. And all the switches are now wired up. I'm not sure we're going to leave the switching controls right there. I think we'll build a more sophisticated control panel, but this one is now hooked up along with the other ones. And on my Variac, I have now a little analog voltmeter along with the ammeter, and the big Marks, which works beautifully now, has an ammeter right there, and I'm going to start checking the volts. We're going to put a voltmeter on it at some point in time as well. Why? I don't know, because I feel like it. And I found another one of these switches, which I'll eventually put onto the Variac for control, and then we'll come up with a whistle control. And then just to review, this is a Variac that I got online for about $70 delivered, and yeah, it has the wrong kind of connections, but I was able to take some cheap $2 extension cords from Lowe's and hack them up to feed this terminal block, and this terminal block feeds other terminal blocks scattered around so that I have a fairly even power distribution around that track. I put in a 7 amp breaker along with these guys right here. This one has its own breaker right there, and it works. It works pretty good. Maybe I'll kick the train off so you can see it work. So the only thing I have not done that I was talking about last time is building more road. We're going to do a little bit better job with roads. Possibly some elevation change in there for kicks. And I want to get rid of these stiff solid core lines, clean up this mess right here. That junction block right there powers the middle track. So let's give it a test run, see what it does. Let's see if this all works. So I'm going to start out with the marks, and let's give it, I don't know, 10 volts or so. One thing I notice on the marks and the Variac, I can get down to like 6 and 7 volts and run these pretty slow. You'll also notice it's not pulling a lot of amps, like 1.5 amps for both those power units. I'll give it a little more speed. Give it like 10 volts. So let's try this one right here. Again, this is that $70 Variac. Put an analog voltmeter, analog ammeter, and a 7 amp breaker, and just took a extension cord and cut it off to feed this terminal block, which in turn feeds a couple of these that are scattered around the track. So let's give this one a test run. Let's jump up to about 12 volts. It's struggling. It'll get there. Need that traction. I love that auto anti-derail function these things have. Well, I guess it works. The transformers are performing as I would expect. This thing here is a bit of an overachievement for me. And this right here, bang for buck, it's tough to beat one of these old things if you don't need the controls, right? But like I did before, I don't know if I put it up on video yet, I put a reverser in here, and we'll eventually formalize that. Going to do one for both of these transformers. Here's the switch, right? And then if I can't make it work with a capacitor, I'll find a capacitor. I'll just get a pair of these for controls. But so that's the update. Not a lot, a couple of minutes, and we're evolving. So hopefully next time this will be black and softer, and these won't be colored. They'll be also dark, and hopefully I'll have roads